Good morning, Super Scholars. It's Miss Fields here with your reading lesson. Today is Wednesday, April 22nd, and we are going to be moving into something different than what we've been working on the last few days. So, our learning target for today is I am learning how to describe the connection between scientific concepts in an informational text. Okay, so our verb here is describe. So Miss Reynolds shared something with you all, and I think it was Monday's lesson, and I'm going to reference back to it. So I have this here. You probably saw it in your video on Monday, but it just gives us a very nice description of the word describe. So describe is when you tell about with facts or details. Okay, so when you describe something, you tell about it with facts or details. So if I wanted to describe this picture here, looks like this little lizard, okay, I would describe it by telling or by saying that it is green. Okay, so I am giving a fact. I can look at that and for sure tell that is green. Okay, I can also describe it by giving some detail and saying, well, the green lizard is sitting on a stick. Okay, I'm giving a detail. So not only is it a green lizard, but the green lizard is sitting on a stick. Okay, so I can see that there by looking at the picture. So we are describing the connection. So remember, when things connect, okay, that means they go together, okay? Between scientific concepts. So that just means things that have to do with science and an informational text. And so we know informational text is texts that give us knowledge or information about something. So, we could read an informational text about tornadoes. We could read an informational text about summer. Okay. It gives us details about a specific topic. Okay. We're going to say it again, and I want you to read it with me this time. I am learning how to describe the connection between scientific concepts in an informational text. Very good. Now, our success criteria for today's lesson. I am successful when I can describe the connections between bees and ants. Okay, let's think about that. Let's read it again together. I am successful when I can describe the connections between bees and ants. Very good, friends. Okay, so if you can do all of this by the end of today's lesson, you were successful and you rocked it out. And I know we all are going to be. So let's move right along into our model story. So our model story today is states of water. Okay, states of water. And so looks like we have some ice here. We have some water, and we have water vapor. So I'm guessing that that's probably what our story is going to be describing or talking about. Okay, so follow along with me as I read. Water can exist in 3 different states: solids, liquids, or gases. Water in the solid state is called ice. Ice has a set shape. Ice can appear translucent. And if I'm not sure what translucent is, I can come down here and see, it says translucent, mostly see-through. Okay, so ice can appear mostly see-through, which means you can kind of pretty much see through it. Let's keep reading. Water is a liquid. Water is a liquid because it can be poured. Unlike ice, water takes the shape of the container it is in. Similar to ice. Oh, look at that comparing word similar. Similar to ice, liquid water is translucent. Water vapor is water in its gaseous state. So that just means in a gas form. On the contrary to ice and water, water vapor is invisible, which means you cannot see it. It cannot be seen. Like liquid water, water vapor takes the shape of the container it is in. And if I come down here to where it says gaseous, okay, it tells me what that word means as well. It says being a gas. Okay, so remember, we've taught you all this before. When there is a bold word in an informational text, that means that you're going to be able to find it in what they call the glossary, which is the back of the book that gives you the definitions and pictures of those bold words. However, this is just a passage, and so they just put those bold words down here at the bottom for us to reference. Okay, so I have a few questions that I just want to verify or just clarify and make sure that everybody understands kind of what you're going to be doing today, and then make sure that we know how to find those things in the text. So, our first question is, how are ice and water alike? Okay. So remember, when things are alike, that means how are they similar? How are they the same? So it wants to know just about ice and water. Okay, it talks about ice, water, and water vapor in our story, but it wants to know just about ice and water. How are they alike? So I came up with my answer, and I said that similar to ice, liquid water is translucent. Okay, so let me see if I can go through my text and I see a word similar here. So, similar to ice, liquid water is translucent. Oh, perfect. So, there we go. I found a way that they're alike, and I'm even able to reference it back in my text, okay? And I can confirm here that it talks about ice, and then it is talking about water, okay? And it uses that word similar, which tells me, that's how they're going to compare, because that is a comparing word. All right. Now it wants to know, how are ice and water different? Okay, so I found a way how they're the same, but that doesn't mean that they are the same in every single aspect. They can also be very different. And so I came up with the answer: ice is a solid and water is a liquid. Let me see if I can find that anywhere. Oh, look right here. It says water in the solid state is called ice. Okay, so I can confirm that here, that I put ice as a solid. I was able to find that back in my text. Now I need to find something where it says water is a liquid. Oh, right here, water is a liquid. So if I go down here, I can confirm, okay, that my answer that I found here was in the text, and it says right here that water is a liquid. Very good, friends. Okay, moving on to question number 3, where it says, how are water and water vapor alike? So I have moved on from ice and water, and now I am looking for water and water vapor, which are also similar, but also two different things. Okay, so water and water vapor alike. I came up with the answer: they take the shape of their container. Let's see if I can read something about that. Oh, let me see right here. It says, like liquid water, like, okay, that's another comparing word. Water vapor takes the shape of the container it is in. There we go. So I can confirm it talks about water and water vapor, and it says that they both take the shape of the container it is in. So I can confirm and check that this is right, and I have proved it with text evidence. Last question. How are water and water vapor different? Okay, so how are they not alike? Well, I said that water vapor is invisible, but water is not. So let's see if I can find proof of this in my text. Oh, right here. On the contrary, this is a word that we have not really talked a lot about, but it is a word that kind of just means, like most people might think that it's true, but despite of what everyone thinks, it's really not, okay? So it's saying on the contrary. So despite of what people might think to ice and water, water vapor is invisible, okay? It cannot be seen. Okay, so water vapor, remember, is like gas. So think about when your parents are boiling a pot of water, okay, to cook something. Maybe they're going to cook some noodles or something, and they're boiling a pot of water, and you see all of that bubble and steam, okay, coming up from the pot. Okay, that is water vapor. That is the gas of the water coming up, right? But if I have a cup of water or a bottle of water, well, I can still see the water in my cup, right? I can still see the water if I have it in a cup. Even though water is clear, I can still visually see, oh, that cup has water in it, right? And you can't really do that with the water vapor because it's a gas and it's just kind of like smoke, okay? And you wouldn't be able to tell what it was unless you knew that you were boiling water, of course. But essentially, water vapor is invisible and it cannot be seen, but water is visible. So I can confirm that I got my answer from the text and it's right there, and I know that I am good to go. Okay, moving right along, friends. So this is your task for today, all right? And if you haven't noticed yet, we have been working a lot here lately with comparing and contrasting. And even though we've kind of moved on to making connections within text, that is essentially the exact same thing we are doing. We are still comparing and contrasting and using those words, even with making connections. And so your story for today is bees versus ants. So I'm going to read this story with you. And then I want you to also read it a second time on your own, okay? So that you get exposed to the text twice before you do your task for today. So, to get your finger ready, touch the first word with me and follow along. Bees and ants have many similarities and differences. Both insects live in colonies with others of their species. Similarly, they both have queens. The queens lead the colonies in workers. Also, both insects have 6 legs. In addition, bees and ants hatch from eggs as larvae. After it becomes a pupa, eventually they molt. They become full-grown bees or ants. Both of these bugs may be considered pests, but they actually help people. Ants clean up the environment. They eat harmful insects and help plants grow. Bees pollinate flowers. They also make honey. On the contrary, oh, look, there's that word again. On the contrary, so that means, despite of what people feel, bees and ants have some differences. They look different. Bees are typically yellow and black, but ants are often black or red. Bees make their own food, while ants find their food. Bees live in hives, whereas ants live in the ground. There are about 15,000 species of ants. There are about 1,000 species of bees. Okay. And friends, I want to just point out this word here, species. Okay, I know that you all have probably heard this word before, but some of you might not be sure what that word means. So species just means different types. Okay, it's just different types of something. So there's 15,000 different types of ants, okay? And there's 1,000 different types of bees. So, you only have 2 questions to answer today. And your first question is, how are bees and ants alike? So, we are comparing. Notice how I put that in parentheses to give you a hint. We are comparing. So, I went ahead and gave an example for you, and you're welcome to use this, but I don't want you to use just mine. I want you to also come up with one on your own. But I said that both bees and ants have queens. That's how they compare. And if I wanted to double check or prove that my answer is accurate or correct, I can go back and find that in the text, which is what you should be able to do. And so if I come here, it says similarly, they both have queens. Oh, there we go. So I can check that off my list and prove that that is correct because I am able to find it within the text, which is super important. Now, number 2, how are bees and ants different? So I am contrasting, okay? And I said that bees are yellow and black, but ants are black or red. So that's how they differ. And I am going to come back up here and show you where I found that. Right here. Bees are typically yellow and black, but ants are often black or red. There we go. So I found both my comparing and my contrasting answers in the text, which is what you should be able to do as well, guys, because it is very important that you are able to reference the text and use that text evidence. All right. So I challenge you, like I said, not to just use the 2 answers that I put here, but to come up with one or to come up with your own answers because there are so many other answers that are in this text if you read it again and go back and find them. So I am going to go ahead and let you all get started for today. Remember, if you have the paper copies still and are able to access that, that is great. I encourage you to do it on paper first. And notice here how it also gives you a color. So it gives you, looks like red for you to underline ways that they compare in red. And it gives you orange so you can compare ways that they are different in orange. That way it's easier for you to find and then copy over here. And when you are done for today, friends, you are going to, don't forget, take your quiz and go formative, okay? And make sure you submit it. All right, friends, thanks for joining me today. I wish you good luck and happy learning, and I will see you tomorrow for your reading lesson. Have a good day, friends. Bye.